Hello, good morning, and to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two 40% alcohol North American brandies, one from Mexico, one from the United States. Now, this is Presidente from Casa Pedro Domecq. Started in Mexico in 1973 by Pedro Domecq of Spain. Both the Mexican and the Spanish distilleries now owned by Emperador. Pedro Domecq is part of Emperador of the Philippines. There's the embossed Pedro Domecq symbol. This is the new 2024 bottle design and label design. Most of the websites are still showing the old original design. So been on the market over 50 years. Runs about $17, but I did get a discount, got it for a very nice price of $12.99. Now here's Delacour V.S.O.P, very smooth old pale, meaning age 4 to 6 years generally. That means that bottle by Luxco, St. Louis, Missouri. Doesn't say produced by Luxco, it says bottled by Luxco. Napoleon brandy, usually they V.S.O.P, they call Napoleon brandy. They're trying to make the label look a lot like some other famous brandy you might notice. Look, they didn't even. It's got a big rumple in it when they put the label on. Didn't smooth it out, but you wouldn't see that on that other brand that I'm talking about. Delacour, that means like what? From the heart. Introduced in 1988. I've never seen it in the store except I bought this at Savannah Discount one time, and it was $11.99. $11.99 for the liter, so I bought it. I didn't know if it would be any good, but it turned out to be good. And I was doing a lot of reviews and stuff after the hurricane going on 3 years ago because we had no electricity for what? 2 weeks, and the camera was still working. I was able to charge it when I would go to work, and because they had a generator over there. And so I did a bunch of videos in the backyard with all that damage in the background. Produced in America for Luxco. Bottled in Missouri. Do a screen share. So there's the Luxco website. Luxco is bought out by MGP like about 4 years ago. Midwest Grain Products bought Luxco. They're in Indiana and Kansas. Of course, Kansas, like their food production, and Indiana is their liquor production. And you see they got their brands, their features. So that's Delacour, you see. But they've got Everclear, which I'm sure everybody's heard of. Exotico is a pretty popular tequila. I see it around, El Mayor tequila. I'm pretty sure I see that one. They got the Arrow brand, which is like inexpensive liqueurs that barrooms buy usually. Although I guess some people might buy that for home use. Ezra Brooks, famous product there. You see everywhere. Walmart's constantly selling Ezra Brooks. Minor Case rye whiskey. I'm not familiar with that. Pearl is a vodka. Never seen it. Rebel, or used to be Rebel Yell. That's pretty good. Walmart's got it. Yellowstone, you might see it around. Quiet Man, yeah, I think Walmart does sell Quiet Man Irish whiskey, and St. Brendan. Walmart's got a contract with these guys to bring in all their stuff, because I've seen Yellowstone, the Quiet Man, St. Brendan Irish cream liqueur, which is very good, I might add. Rebel, Ezra Brooks, Exotico, Everclear, El Mayor, I think. Yeah, I think Walmart, they must have made a deal, like we'll sell all your stuff basically if you deal with us. And they were like, yeah, okay, because that's how Walmart kind of operates. And there's Arrow Commodities. I think Arrow Commodities is like real basic bourbon, Glenski, Scotch, you know what I mean, under some budget brand that you probably wouldn't see in a store, but maybe a wholesaler would buy it for their bar. And then you got other ones, American, Andrews, Azteca, Barons, Bellows. I have some Bellows. I bought it in Louisiana, but it's not common. Blood Oath, yeah, Mathern's that. It's expensive, expensive whiskey. Board, no, not. You know, it goes on and on. You can't go through all these pages, but a lot of products. Many products. Blended whiskey, I never seen that. Old Colony, no, never seen that. Old Ezra, yes, I've seen that. That's around here. That's one of the Ezra Brook line. And it goes on and on. You see Pirate. Don't know what that is. Wrong. Yeah, there's just there's so many brands of products you could never buy them all. It's not possible. But it's fun to check them out. You know, as many as you can, I guess. Not too many. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying, get crazy with it. Okay, gotta get my tags correct. Delacour has a very soft flavor, so I think I will be able to tell them apart. And this one has a very leafy kind of grape leaf thing. Kind of, it's my cap that won't come up. It's kind of harsh, yeah, but it is, and then at the same time it isn't. It's hard to describe. It's just different, like Fundador. And so now I got what? 4-3-1, 4 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie, because I couldn't call the first one against Fundador. Didn't even make an attempt. They tasted so similar. It was like they were the same product, one from Mexico, one from Spain. They both used Solera method. And they could technically be the same, you know, like using the same formula, same recipe, and then just they make one in Mexico and they make one in Spain. I wouldn't be totally shocked by that, but and they're about the same price. So I ate this gumbo for breakfast. The neighbor made some, and I added pepper and hot sauce to it. I had my nose kind of chicken and andouille gumbo. It was good. A little bit too salty, I thought, but anyway, all right. This one's copper. That's the Fundador. I mean the Emperador is Pedro Domecq Presidente. The Presidente, and this one is pretty dark, but it's more amber. Do they add color in? I don't know. They don't have to tell you if they do. I don't know what the law is of Mexico. Are they allowed to add color into Mexican brandy? This I cannot tell you. I don't know. I know the law of the United States though, and the rule is, if you read the regulations, although they're currently updating those, I don't know how much is going to change. If you read the regulations, this can have coloring added and flavoring, in fact, and they don't have to even tell you about it. It says disclosure required. No, they have to know. There's yes and no on each. It's like a series of questions in a column. Brandy, harmless flavoring and coloring. Harmless flavoring, coloring, and blending materials allowed. Check, yes. Disclosure required. Check, no. Get it? So you can add the coloring and flavoring, and then you don't have to tell you. They might, you know, Sazerac's good at that. They'll just say on the bottom, they'll just say got flavoring added, got coloring added. But some companies are they not going to say. It's all up to them, you know. All right. Yeah, raisins. These things always smell like raisins. Somebody gave me a big bag of raisins, and the purple ones. I've been putting them in my cereal in the morning when before I go to work. I'm not going to just sit there and eat raisins. I don't have any interest in that. I'm not a real fruit person, but they've been pretty good just to sprinkle them on the top of the cereal. And I'm getting close to finishing. Be glad when they're going. But yeah, when I was a little kid, I'd eat a box of raisins. Those Sun-Maid Sometimes the golden ones I would eat. I didn't really like those too much, but I would eat them. No, I mean, maybe this is the Delacour. I don't know. Because this one's like golden raisins, and this one's like the purple raisins. So I don't know. Let's go with the taste. Man, whew, that is like a lot of wood, a lot of oak barrel, almost like takes your breath away. And then the raisins. It's like, yeah, literally you took a bunch of raisins, poured them in an oak barrel and sealed it up and let it ferment for years. Strange, isn't it? A lot of people watching this would say, oh, I would never want to drink brandy if it tastes like that. It does sort of taste like that. So brandy may not appeal to you. And I know Jean Henderson Pierre, the beverage ramble, he said, I don't like brandy. Because he probably doesn't like that fermented raisin and wood flavor. I don't exactly love it, but I don't hate it either. This is just like that, but it's just like that, except it isn't. No, it's similar to that, but this one is more sugary, and I don't taste the oak. And age 4 to 6 years, I'm still not getting the oak. Medium, they're both medium bodied, finished, semi-sweet. Why is this one so heavy on the oak? I think it's because they're using the Solera method that Presidente uses, and they taking 10 barrels, stacking them high at an angle like this, and they'll pour unaged brandy in the first barrel, the grape spirits. Let it set for a year, right? Then they'll take some, they might only fill it up halfway, and then they take another barrel, fill it up pretty good with new brandy, take some of that new brandy and pour it in the old. Then the next year, and they keep going up, doing that same process, or if you live in Canada, process for 10 years, and they keep dumping. So what you have is at the bottom, you got brandy that could be 25, 30 years old, blended with some that maybe is only 10 years old. So you got an age range, and then it takes on a lot of that wood, I think. It's what they do with sherry. That's how they do sherry. They just dump. It's a slow process. Would you be allowed to do that with bourbon? Yes. If the barrel was a new charred oak barrel. Barrel number 1 is new charred oak, never been used before. Pour the grain in there. Let it age. And then so forth. Each barrel you add has to be new charred oak. Now you're dumping from that to that. So that is, I don't know how people look at that because it's used to used, but it's all put in new charred oak. So I think it would qualify because it's all new charred oak, but you just dumping barrel to barrel. But that's a good question. I just thought of that. I have to look that up maybe if I get a chance, if I ever care. Would it be allowed to use the Solera method to make brandy? I mean, we know that, to make bourbon. Huh. Now they got the 10 high bourbon, but they don't use the 10 high method. They just picked that because it sounded good for the name. That's funny. 10 high bourbon, which doesn't use the 10 high method, but it's cheap. And it's always at Walmart. I saw that stuff at Walmart the other day, $15.99. I think it was $15.99, $16.99, $15.99. I'm talking about for a big old bottle. Is it great? No, that's why it's $15.99. Is it tolerable? Oh, it's tolerable. A lot of things are tolerable. Some people can get bitten by a Gila monster and survive, and they tolerate the bite without dying. Other people, like unfortunately last week or so, the man got killed by his pet Gila monster. Why are you keeping a pet Gila monster, a poisonous lizard, and then you want to handle it? I don't understand that. That used to have a business here called the Snake Farm, which is gone now for 41 years. But one of the workers there got killed one time because she thought the cobras were her friend. And people kept telling her, I wouldn't mess around with those cobras. She's like, oh no, they're tame. They understand me, or something like that. You know how people get. And then she reached in there one day and it bit her. She's dead before they could bring in the serum, the anti venom, whatever that's called, from Tampa, Florida. So that's advice to you. Don't play around with dangerous, venomous animals. But I guess most people take that advice. Some don't. You say, well, liquor's kind of like a dangerous animal. It is. It can be enjoyable, like with these taste challenges and like a hobby and everything, trying different products, and it can be dangerous too. And we know, and we all know how. So, okay, this is very woody. I mean, I'm not tasting the grape leaves so much this morning, but the wood is overwhelming. So, if you like a very oaky product, this could be one for you. So, I'm saying this is the Presidente. I got it. 5, 3, and 1. Now we had 5 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie, and I'm happy about that. 5, 3, and 1. I'm not delighted. I would rather if it was, 9 and 0, but with something like this, it's not really possible. Look, you think you're an expert on tasting brandy or any other liquor, and maybe you are, but you got to prove it. You got to do blind taste tests live on the internet, or at least in front of people, and have witnesses at your home and say, look, I did it. I always get it right. I'm the best. That would be nice. It'd be nice to see it, though. You should make videos. We watch. Now, I see people doing taste challenges that are very interesting. Wayne, Bucks County Beer Reviews, does blind taste tests for beer. And that's very good. Other people do. Not too many. Now, most of the guys, they're just doing, I don't know any women that do it, honestly, but they'll just do open-eyed taste tests. Like they'll pour this brandy and pour that brandy and talk about how they're different and the same, compare and contrast. Oh, this one's better, Yeah, but can you really tell them apart? You know what you poured. You're looking at it. But could you really tell it apart in a blind taste test? Oh, sure, I could. Well, do it. Don't talk about it. And then people will say, well, I live alone. My wife is gone, or whatever the case, something happened, I got no way to do it. Yeah, you do. You could take tags and put them at the bottom of the glass and just mix them up real well. Or maybe you got a wife that's not interested in doing it. Some people are like their wives, I'm not doing that. And you avoid antagonizing her. Some people got to live with like a wild animal, They might rather get bit by a Gila monster than have to deal with that. There's no pleasure there. But you can do it alone. You just put the tags, mix them up real well, and now make the tags similar. These are both white tags with a little indicator on the bottom, M and C, mainstay and competitor. The mainstay is what I'm doing right now, the Presidente versus everybody. The competitor is the Delacour. Of course, I wash the glasses. You want to wash the glass. Now, and if one is darker than the other, you got to close your eyes because you're going to glance and see the dark one where the taste challenge is ruined. And I always use that argument with the light beer drinkers because they'll say, oh, I drink Miller Lite. That's my brand. I drink Coors Light. That's my brand. I say, well, why do you drink Coors Light? Oh, I just like it. Okay, that's a valid reason to drink it, obviously. I say, you ever thought of drinking Keystone Light? It's a lot cheaper. Oh, no, I wouldn't drink that trash, I said, well, you ever tried it? Oh, yeah, once at a barbecue. I hated it. Or, whatever. Oh, okay. Because I tell them, they're very similar. It's almost like identical. Oh, no. I'd always be able to tell Coors Light from Keystone Light. No doubt. Well, do it. Do a blind taste test. Now, a friend at work, I'll give him credit because he keeps telling me, bring it over. and we'll do the challenge. And I'll show you. So I just haven't had time, or he's been at work and I've been off or whatever. So he's open to it. He said, you bring the Bud Light. Well, he always has Bud Light. That's his favorite beer. Bud Light is, in his opinion, the greatest beer in the world. And he could always, he claims, tell Bud Light from any other light beer. I said, well, probably that's not true, but you'd have to do it and find out. And he's always saying, bring over that Busch Light, bring over that doggone Natural Light, bring over that Milwaukee's Best Light, or Miller Light, which he claims is the worst. I'm like, no. Beer Hound says, hi, Ron. Hello, Bill. Thanks for watching at this early hour. Oh, no. He'll say no. But he is open to it. He said, bring it over and we'll do the taste challenge. Now, if he gets it right one time, doesn't prove too much, but you get it right once. Good. You say, well, that's 50-50. It could be a lucky guess. Could be. But how do you make sure it's not just a one-time lucky guess? Well, then you do a series. Bud Light versus Keystone Light, Natural Light, Miller Light. Coors Light, and down the line. Now, if you do 10 challenges and you get an 8 out of 10, that's a pretty good sign that you probably do know what you're talking about. And maybe you're right, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I think if he did it, it'd probably be 50-50. He'd get it. Sometimes he'd get it right, sometimes he'd get it wrong, which would prove to me that it's no better than anything else. So why are you paying all that money? You're telling me you got financial problems, but you're buying the most expensive light beer. And if you're going to drink it in the massive volume you're drinking it in, which I don't recommend, but that's what you want to do. It's your business. You could save lots of money each week, assuming you can't tell the difference. Now, he might, like I say, do the challenge and get it right every time, and then that would blow up my argument, and I'd have to say, good. Then you keep drinking Bud Light, but I don't believe it would happen. I don't think so. I think it'd be 50-50, which would be the argument on my side. I'm up having an anxiety attack, just trying to get over it so I can go back to sleep. Anxiety attack. That doesn't sound very nice. I'm sorry to hear that. I was having an anxiety attack in the sense of a dream. And I woke up and I was like, oh, it was a dream. They always seem real when they're a dream, but I was like, oh, glad that didn't happen. Okay, now anyway, so it's anxiety within the dream. You understand? Then once you wake up. But it was early. It was like 2:15, and I was like, I'm getting up. I know I won't go back to sleep. I could lay there, but I'm not going to go back to sleep. I'm well rested, so I just got up, started checking the highlight, checking the basketball highlights, and the scores. And I forgot to check the baseball scores. I'm going to do that in a minute. Okay, so I don't know which one I prefer here. Yes, I could tell them apart. And it was not difficult because these two don't taste alike, except in that overall raisin sense, like brandy tastes like raisins. But I like them both, so I guess I would buy either one, and I would just buy whatever's cheaper. I'm just telling you the truth. Delacour has this kind of silly billy bottle that what they're trying to mimic. You could see what famous brand they're trying to mimic, and they're kind of doing an okay job if you compare those two bottles. But who in the world's gonna get fooled by that? Nobody. But it is sold at New Orleans restaurants. I don't know about liquor store, but the restaurants, all these famous restaurants in the French Quarter, Hermes Bar, the doggone Royal Sinesse, the Carousel Bar, they have this on their website. Happy hour, Delacour Sidecar, Delacour Brandy Alexander. Oh well, it's the same kind of thing. They probably got it real cheap. But you're gonna pay $9. Why are you paying $9 for a cocktail with an $11 a liter bottle, $12 bottle? They paid a lot less. So they got it at the New Orleans wholesale market, which is open 24 hours a day, every day of the year. It never closes. And I can't buy liquor there because I don't have a wholesale license. All right, but Look, I might buy that and I might buy that, but I can guarantee you I would buy whatever one was cheaper. That would be the determinant factor. Do I like the taste of both? Yes. Do they taste alike? Not really. Which one would I buy? The cheaper one. Simple process, right? Yep, it was a dream that triggered, and I woke up gasping for air. I have bad sleep apnea. Oh yeah, yeah. I hear about that. I know people that have that. See, I don't have that, so I can't relate to it, and I can't say, oh, I know how you feel. It's terrible. I'm sure it's terrible, but I don't know how you feel because I don't have it. It's like snoring. Well, I don't do that. So I only snore if I'm on my back. If I lay on my back, I'll start snoring. So I don't sleep on my back because I'll just wake myself up. I'll wake up and immediately. So I would lay on my left side, my right side, and that kind of thing. But I don't. But otherwise, I'm not snoring. I got a friend. He snores like sound like some kind of machinery. His wife can't stand it, so she sleeps in another room. They don't sleep in the same room. Who can sleep through all that racket? Nobody. So it's because my weight is up to 250 pounds. Oh golly, that's not good. I weighed myself this morning. It was 140.6. It's not where I want it, but it's not far from it. I could go 2 pounds lower, but I wouldn't go lower than that. People are gonna say you're too thin or something. But I did lose over 30 pounds. I used to be chubby, but I didn't like it. I couldn't button my top button. I was like, this will end, and it did. 9 months ago, I was like 190. Oh yeah, you need to get that straight. Right about now, yeah, it's time to start working on that. 60 pounds? No, that's no good. That's not workable. That's got to be handled too sweet. And the best wishes on that. If you ever want to talk to me about it, well, I mean, I can't give advice to other people. I know how I lost weight, and it didn't involve taking anything. It just involved doing some things, which were relatively easy if you had discipline, which I guess I have. So then it worked out. All right. Now, anyway, y'all take care, and best wishes to everybody on everything, and come back. Right. I'm not gonna repeat that. Yeah. We'll just. Okay. Now, be back the next time for Presidente versus another American brandy, which is going to be I think oh, I know what it is. It's the 1889 brandy, which is not really from 1889. It's from 2016, but I think it really goes back to 1915 in some iteration of it. But we'll say 2016, the newest version of it, which is terrible. They shouldn't even make that brandy. That thing tastes like vanilla extract. But we'll get to it. All right, you too, beer hounds. All right, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.